Hey everybody, I'm here with Ken and his Hilux, and because he asked me a couple of days ago, we're talking about servicing and checks and all these, I'm thinking about all these people that are servicing their own cars, and you read the owner's manuals and it tells you about daily checks and weekly checks and monthly checks. So I thought we'd do a video. I'll say a quick video, we'll keep it under 10 minutes and go through all the things that I recommend you check daily, weekly or monthly. I think that's a pretty good idea. If you think it is, hit the like button. And if you like this video, may as well subscribe. It's not gonna hurt, it's free for you to subscribe. I'd like it if you subscribe, because there's only about 30% of people watching videos subscribe. So there's about 4 times more people watching videos than so it's kind of like, okay, so what do we got? 80 something thousand subscribers. And I reckon if 80,000 people thought it was good enough to do that, don't you reckon you'd be missing out by not agreeing with the 80,000, everyone? So go ahead and subscribe, because that means if there's only 30, there's a few 100,000 people watching the videos, but people aren't consistent, but it's up to you. So this one, okay, so what would we check daily? Now I've got to think about this for a minute. So this vehicle's in Queensland, and it's not exactly close by to any of the workshop partners or myself. And it does come down to Melbourne on a trip every now and then and get some work done. So I thought I'd show you the vehicle, because you might notice it it might have been in a video once or twice.
The Nest.
Yeah, the Nest. This is the one that had the rat nest on the cabin filter, everybody. Yeah. Hey, let us know in the comments, and comments are good too. Put stuff in the comments, especially the regulars, because I really like to hear from you. I really do. I read the comments, and it's good to hear from people. But who saw the video with a rat nest? This is that vehicle. Maybe we should pull the cabin filter out. That's the first daily check. See if you've got a rat nest. In all seriousness, this isn't going to be, this is the daily stuff, then this is the weekly stuff, this is the monthly. I'm just going to go through the car and tell you how often I would check it. Cabin filter. Look, if you had a rat nest, maybe check it once a bloody month until you know that it's all clear like that. Since we got it out, we'll give it a bit of a bang out, but that's looking good. And how it's meant to look, so that's all good news. There's a little bit of debris in there still, bit of compressed air if you've got it. Give it a blowout. You can give this a blowout, obviously turn it upside down and blow from this side to push all that stuff off. Or just this is a residential service, right? So when you're in a residential area, you just come out to the road and you just bang that just gently, not too hard, you don't want to wreck the thing, right? Just bang that stuff out. That's your cabin filter, beautiful. So now putting it back in, airflow down, so the air comes in from the top. So if anyone's ever wondering, you put it back in like that with the airflow facing down. Unless somebody else put it in, they put it in upside down, because it doesn't really matter which way it goes, to my understanding. And if that's been full of dirt, you don't want to switch it around. You either want a new one or put it back the way it was. But ideally, if you put one in, just put it with the arrow down, then it's simple for everybody. Let's get it back in. Honestly, the cabin filter, depends how it's used. What's that been? 6 months at least since then?
Yeah, 6, 8 months.
Yeah, really. Like so look, I mean, you can check that one just when you do your service every 6 months. Don't worry about checking that. If you've had a rat nest, you might want to check it weekly until you sort out your rats. Like I said, let's get serious and not waste your time. Unless you've got an existing problem, there's no daily checks. They're going to talk about, if you read owner's manuals and stuff, they're going to talk about pulling your dipstick and checking your oil. They're going to talk about checking your coolant level, because these are really important things, and they might even call those daily checks. But I don't think any of us are going to go pop our bonnet and check it daily, unless if you're on an Outback Australia trip, it's absolutely a daily check. Every morning or night or both, you're going to pop your bonnet, let the heat out, let it all cool down so the rats don't come and want to sleep in, the mice and everything sleeping in, chewing on everything all night and for the rest of the next day if they find a nice spot in there. So you want to open the bonnet early when you get to camp, let all the heat out, and have a good look around. Have we got any problems? You see any oil? Because if you've got a problem, you want to know about it sooner rather than later. And this is where that touring information comes in, which is why you might want to check out our other channel, 4Before Adventures. Spelt the same, just change the word from diesel to adventures. Subscribe on that one. There's less videos there. They're generally shorter. There's a lot more off-topic stuff related to your 4B traveling, touring, and Australian Outback, compared to the mechanical side, what we're doing now. So let's face it, if you've got an awesome, this is a last of the best. What's this, 2014, I think, from memory, February 14, I can see it on the label there. Yeah. Last of the best. How many Ks on this can, roughly? Not even 200, is it 200?
Yeah, I think it's 170.
170, what a gem, right? Yeah. So if you've got an awesome vehicle like this, you're not gonna need to check anything daily or probably even weekly. But if you've got nothing better to do, it is worth opening the bonnet and having a check around once a week, push it out to 2 weeks. So let's call it either 2 weeks or monthly, 2 weeks or 4 weeks perhaps. So this is the stuff we're going to check every 2, 3 or 4 weeks, whatever you choose to do. Pop the bonnet, have a look at your brake fluid level. You can see here it's right on that max line there. If you're not sure, just give it a bit of a wobble sort of, but don't break it off or anything like that. But you should see that bit of movement there.
Okay.
Right, you can see that it's definitely fluid there. Right, here, your coolant. That's the full line down the bottom there, that's fine. Take note of where it's at. A little bit over's all right, it's okay. You can feel it, it's not gonna hurt it. All it's gonna do is push the excess out and make mess. So don't overfill it if you can. The only time we do that is when we do the cooling system and we don't want it to end up low for you, and it'll push the excess out and you just give it a wash off. That's when you might check it daily, straight after you've had work done on your cooling system, then check it daily, particularly that. If you've done a service and you DIY and you're new at doing your own services, then you might want to check your oil level daily. Just worth checking in case you didn't tighten the sump plug and it's leaking, or your oil filter, something. So it's worth having a check. Oh, is the oil filter leaking? Is the sump plug leaking? And is the oil level right? And have a look underneath after you work on the vehicle, maybe for a few days. If any work you've done, bearings, axles, whatever, just bend down, just go down there, stick your head underneath, just kind of go and have a look and go, yep, no, she's looking good. So they're your daily checks after you've done some work on the car. See, so we've reversed, we've gone, there's nothing really daily. And then I've gone, well, this is daily, right? And obviously we haven't got your car still, so we can't check it daily. So even if we've done some work, or one of the workshop partners, it's probably worth you just keeping a bit of an eye on it, because you never know. Sometimes things don't go to plan. Usually they do. So what else we got? So we've covered the brake fluid. Air filter, I'm not going to say to check monthly unless you're operating on dusty conditions, dirt roads. It's not going to be checked. It's just going to be regularly cleaned if that's the case. Coolant, you can have a look at the level. Power steering here, you can see the power steering level, right? It shows you where it's full hot, full cold. It says it on the writing there. So give or take thereabouts. I've got to be honest. It doesn't matter if it's on a bit over, a bit under again, but if it's going down, then you've probably got one of the usual slow leaks. You can keep on that rack boot sweat we talk about in the inspection videos. Hey everyone, check out our playlist if you've missed it, because that's got a lot of information, checking and inspecting vehicles, service related checks. I'm not worried about checking hoses on Toyota. If it's a Toyota, you don't need to check hoses and stuff like that, because they're just, the quality of them is awesome. This is going to be all original hoses. We'll see this again in another 15 years. It'll still have the same hoses on there. He's going to keep this forever, isn't he? Yeah, he's not going to do it. Exactly right. So even if you get another car, these sort of cars, you just keep them, because you can't get these again. That's what I think anyway. So
if it was you, would you still hold on to this?
Mate, I'd keep it forever, mate. Yeah, absolutely. As long as you're happy with, so for me, I've got a Hilux with a 4-speed auto, and I love the car. And when I don't drive, as much as the Prado's better, I do miss it, and I get back in and I go, cool. I get used to it pretty quick, and I go, yeah, I do prefer the Prado. Still love the Hilux. But there's one thing, if I did different, I'd be getting a 5-speed auto. So I'm not I like manuals. They're better for you don't get it worry about your transmission temperatures. You get better fuel economy. It's a controlled thing. You don't have gear changes when you don't want them, and torque converters slipping. It's a solid lock. It's good for towing. You can select your gear. It's locked in. I do like it for that reason, but I do prefer the 5-speed auto for the bulletproof reliability without any surprises of gearbox or clutch problems, because clutches do wear out. So that's the downside. So if it was me and I had a manual, no, I wouldn't, but I wouldn't have brought a manual in the first place. But that being said, I don't like my 4-speed auto. Well, it's not that I don't like it. I do like it, but I love the 5-speed auto. And if I had my time again, I'd definitely only get the 5-speed auto. But that being said, I'm not changing it, because I've made it it's a good Hilux. It's a good setup. We've done a lot of work on it ourselves. All the maintenance done, drive shafts, wheel bearings, BFEs, injectors. You know what, I might even throw an engine and a turbo at it soon, just because I can, because you can get them now. And it's like, to me, it's like a new car. How much is a new Hilux, or how much is a new engine? It's a lot cheaper, and the rest of the car's fine, This one doesn't need that. This is in much better condition. Our Hilux, earth moving, it's had a hard life. It'll probably be fine, but it's definitely had a hard life. What's this evidence here? It's a bit of bug. I was thinking it might have been a bit of...
rat.
Yes, but it's a bit small. It's just a bit of bug. So look, have a look at the power steering about monthly, Top up your washer bottle, maybe. Again, it depends how much you use it. You just pour water in there. You can get solutions there. Bit of a rip-off. What I've got, and you probably don't need to do this, but I get the 20-litre drum in bulk, and we just take it out of that to top up everyone's washer bottles. But I think it's the second one I purchased in my life, so I haven't even gone through 40 litres. So that's how much I put in people's washer bottles. Not much. It's probably mainly gone in my cars. Batteries, I mean, it's good to look at. If they're connected secure properly, they're not going to become insecure, but check your battery security. Just give the bracket a wobble like that. See if it moves. Pull the battery. It's not moving. Battery terminals look okay. You can have a look, make sure they're clean. They're all the way down. It all comes down to who installed it, not me. And see, it's not all the way to the bottom, but it's close enough. We can see quite a bit of the terminal at the top. Make sure these covers are on if we can. If people have added accessories, you need to do cutouts like this to make sure that stays there. Because if you do check your oil and you pull your dipstick out, when you go to push it back in, see this sort of, it's got a bit of a bend in it, because what happens when people push it in, I'll show you, so I'll try and demonstrate. Oh, this one's going to go straight in, but I'm going to make it look bad and kind of go, when you push it in, sometimes they cock up and go sideways like that, and you could be leaning towards you and go like that. And for people that don't know, the whole negative of the vehicle is earth to the vehicle. So the whole metal part of the car is negative battery. So that means any metal part that touches the positive will create sparks. It could blow one of your main fuses. It could blow the bloody battery up if it's putting out dangerous gases. It could do a number of things. It could fry your injector driver. So you've got to be really careful pushing this in to make sure it doesn't buckle and bend. But your backup plan is having all this covered and insulated, right? So if you do make that, so everyone's just got to slow down. Tell you what I do, I have a rag in my hand because you're checking your oil. I'll put my hand in the rag there. So I'll feed this, I'll get this back in at the start. Then my hand will go there to protect that, holding the rag or not, as I push this back in usually, but I'm doing it slowly and carefully.
I didn't realise that.
There you go, right? Yeah. So, and there's a bit of rubber on there, and that's what seals all the stuff from going in. So make sure, sometimes these can get dry and dusty, and you go to push it in and they might be a bit tight. So just make sure it's not like stuck there or something, because then you're going to get water and dust. Make sure it's all the way down. The O-ring will seal it, but in particular the plastic sort of meshes up on the top of the dipstick tube there.
Good advice.
And that's about all you really got to check under here. There's a few things. Sorry guys, we're making this video a bit longer than we thought. We planned 10 minutes, but I think it's going to go for 20 now. So I'm being honest, because I still want to talk about other things you can look at and check. First step is, without bending over, getting underneath the vehicle, you can look at your tyres. And we've talked about the tyres on this vehicle. They're not that old. The rear ones, I don't think they've been on the front, so they're in really good flat across condition. In case people don't know, it's got a live axle. That means it stays straight. The alignment can't be out unless you've hit a gutter and damaged it and bent an axle. You're going to have other problems. But generally, the tyres, they're not doing the steering. They're not doing as much braking, and they're only going straight. So the tyres on the back, as long as the pressures are right, work perfectly. Hey, everybody, how good's this info, mate? Come on. What happened here, mate? Was that you?
No, that was done before.
Okay. Lucky. Otherwise, mate, you wouldn't be happy. But these tyres on the front, I think the pressures could probably go a little bit higher because they are wearing a bit on the edges, but there's plenty of meat in the middle.
What pressure?
I reckon on these,
38, I think it was.
you should be right with that. Yeah, no, I think you should be right, front and rear 38. Maybe go 40, just give it a little bit more, because that'll sort of push the center of the tyre out a bit more and protect the edges a bit. But mainly it's not the inside, mainly the outside edge. So have a look at your tread depth, people. You should have at least a few millimetres. Once it gets low, you really need to let a tyre specialist that you can trust give you an opinion on tyres and when to replace them. It depends on what conditions. Are you driving in dry outback conditions all the time? Are you driving on gravel roads with sharp rocks that you need protection? Are you driving on wet roads? At what speed? You know, how's the vehicle being used? Let's have a look at the other side. Here, we're seeing the same thing. The other side, I could have almost said it's the roundabouts, because they always go around to the right. Well, in Australia, if you're our friends from the other side, well, you go the other way, right? But in Australia, so the inside of the tyre is good. It's just the outside edge. So that sort of says to me what this car is doing exaggerated. It's driving down the road with toe in, because it's wearing on the outside edge of the tyres. Now, we've got playlists on wheels and tyres as well, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but toe in or other suspension problems allowing toe in is what wears tyres. Camber doesn't wear tyres. Maybe a little bit, but to keep it simple, I'm going to say it doesn't. A tyre leaning a little bit doesn't wear tyres. Now, if you've got independent rear suspension and a big V8 and you give it to it, it's going to constantly wear the inside of the tyres because it's going to go down. I'm not going to go into it again. Check the wheels and tyres. Check the Patrol video. He explains it pretty well. The Patrol video's in that playlist on the Patrol. The VT Commodores are really renowned and bad for it because they go down the inside of the back tyre and the power. You're constantly slipping a little bit when you give it the grunt. You're on the inside edge of the tyre and they wear through. But on a vehicle like this, even though it does more braking, it does the turning, it takes care of all that. So the fronts are always going to wear more, which is why they need to rotate and balance every about 10,000 Ks. Doesn't matter if you do it every 2,000, 5,000 or 20,000, you're going to end up with the same results over the life of the tyres. It's better to do it about every 10,000. That way you're not overdoing it, wasting your money and time, because 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 to 60 or 80 or 100, it all equals the same. Some people think, oh, I do it every 5. Well, you can do that, but you just double the amount of work and you're going to end up with about the same result. And some people want to argue the point, but we don't argue, so happy days, all good. What I'm seeing here is toe-in. So camber doesn't wear the tyres, and either does caster. That's another story. That's how much the wheel's for. That doesn't wear tyres either. Those control more how the car will drive on the road, pulling left, pulling right, steering, centering, self-centering type thing. When you turn and you let it go and it comes back to centre. Yeah, okay. Right. So as long as you're happy, it drives well on the road, drives good on the road, drives straight, doesn't pull around crazy. No, it drives good. Road, yeah. Okay. So my guess, looking at this and the age of the vehicle and the fact that we've serviced it before, there's probably nothing wrong with any of the components. It's probably got a bit of a toe-in. Maybe these potholes, these crappy roads all around, all the way down the East Coast is particularly bad, isn't it? Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland. Yeah. Hitting those potholes, that could be it. So a wheel alignment, probably a toe and go. That's your cheap wheel alignment where they just check your toe in because they probably can't do the rest of it properly anyway. And if they tried, they'd probably damage the car or make it worse than it was, and you'll drive out with your steering wheel sideways. Have you had one of those before? Yeah. You really like that, don't you? Oh, yeah. And they're the more expensive ones for them to wreck your car. So check your tyres. We're giving you the long version. Check your tyres probably monthly and just have a look at them and go, yeah, there's plenty of meat there, but oh, hang on, I've noticed the outside edges of both my fronts are wearing. It's time to go and get a wheel on it. Hit the like button if you're finding this valuable. Back tyres are going to be looking good. Now, I reckon we just about wrap it up. We might do another video like this, maybe not on this car, maybe on another one, because there's some more checks you could probably do. We can have a look at the brakes. So I'm not saying this is the be all and end all, but you can look in and see the brake pads there. Yeah. Right. Okay. See that blue thing there? That's the backing plate, and on the inside of it, see that shiny thing, the disc rotor, on the inside of that blue plate there, in the middle of the picture, everyone, in between that and the disc is the meat of the brake pad. So you can sort of see on this one, you got plenty of pads. Yeah. And that's a general guide. A lot of vehicles in the past, the inside pad could wear more than the outside. So you might go, I've got plenty of brakes, but they could end up metal to metal because you've got caliper problems. But being a Toyota, and they do wear pretty well, you're probably safe to say you can look at that for a good guide of, yep, I've got plenty of brakes. If you start hearing a scraping noise and you look down in here and you go, oh, bugger me, there's not much meat left on that pad, then the inside could be the one scraping. And you can get down underneath and have a bit more of a look, that sort of thing. But I think for today, look, you can do other checks, but we can just get down here like I did before and have a bit of a look at you can look at your rack boot, you can look at your suspension. I'm going to turn you upside down, inside out, back to front, because I'm not getting on the floor. You can see that new drive shaft we talked about, the bearings and any grease or oil, anything that looks normal. You can see quite a lot on the ground. So do you really need a hoist? If you need one, contact Joel's Garage. Talk to Andrew, because that's who I got mine hoist off. And he said, mate, I said, because I was happy with the hoist, I said, if I let people know, what do you reckon? He goes, yeah, we'll look after them, at least, a couple $100 off, that sort of thing. So Andrew at Joel's Garage if you want one. But you probably don't need one, because I've just demonstrated that you can, if you've got a four-wheel drive, you can do most of your checks and your lubrication here on the ground, even getting underneath to do other stuff, diff oil changes. You can drop your bash plates if you needed to. You can do your oil change here on the ground, right here in your garage. You can do an oil change. There's plenty of room there. You know what I mean? It's a nice warm day here, isn't it? It's all hot and sunny.
Yeah.
Laying on concrete is nice and cool. Trust me, I used to do it when I was younger, working on garage floors and that. In overalls, of course, because I didn't want to, you know, I'm rolling around in sweaty skin in a hot summer day on a dirty workshop floor. But, you know, dirty overalls at the end of the day. That's the things we used to do, people, you know, you got to do the work. Anyway, I think we've yacked long enough. Does that help you?
Oh,
Bit of an idea?
Well explained, mate.
They're the things you want to keep an eye on, you know? I mean, we can go next level. Rear brakes, you can actually check on the ground as well, but they're going to last, that's when you bring it to us for that once every year or 2 years even, 18 months, whatever you want, what suits you. So we can run our eyes over it because we know these vehicles that well. We're going to pick up things really quickly.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth that, you know, $200 or $300 inspection, even if you're doing your own service, a bit more if it's a service as well, to get the vehicle professionally looked after. And that's what it is because we know these things really well. And I can't see anything. So this is like a service other than oil change. This is like a service right now.
Yes.
Do you know how many Ks the car's done? So it's 175 K.
175, yeah.
How many since the last service? How many thousand K since we've done an oil change? Have a look. You have a look at that while I just have a final look, try and find any dramas here for anyone else for this nice long video. If I don't put a video out, everyone, it gives you the opportunity to go and have a look at the playlist and do a bit of own homework and recapping on other information we've already covered. And I'm going to try and find new stuff and do less videos because if it's been covered, it's been covered. So there's going to be days where videos don't come out. There's going to be days with longer videos like this. And there's going to be days you can hit the playlists.
It's hard to read the mileage, but it says due in February.
The sticker says due in February?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so...
It's sort of faded on the sticker.
Okay. Yeah, I think we might have said just bring it once a year and get the oil done locally up here or something like that. So it must have been, was it February when you came down?
It would have been. Yeah,
Right,
February,
so
March,
February, but we don't know the do you know the kilometres then? Or
No.
that's why, see, when I do the stickers, I write on my cars, I write the Ks it's done at and the date it's done at. Because I don't care when it's due, I'll decide when it's bloody due. I want to know when it was done.
Yeah.
Where the sticker allows for the next service, and most people don't need to know when it was done, they want to know when it's due. So when we fill out your stickers, that's what we do, we tell you when it's due. Has it got kilometres written on there? Because we would have put 10,000 Ks from what it was.
It's really faded.
Yeah, it looks like 180. That's not my handwriting, that's my offsider, 180 K. So it's done 5,000 Ks. So you could do an oil change. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, it would be good. So we're working on having a workshop partner up here around Harvey Bay. For those people that waited to the end of the video. So if you did that, you're around Harvey Bay or anywhere a distance that you could travel to there. He's installing a hoist soon and we're going to do a bit of work together and get him up to speed. And he doesn't want to be super busy like our other workshop partners. They're quality, not quantity. Subscribe, stay on the video, stay in touch, and we'll let you know the details. But once he gets the hoist in, we'll catch up and we're going to do a bit of stuff and I'll let you know. Maybe we'll do an oil change there or something like that.
Okay.
Other than that, in one of my older videos, I showed these oil drain trays. They're awesome. I think I'm going to buy a couple more. And you know, you can just do an oil change here on the floor, and you don't even, like I said, because it's only done 5,000. We do not need to put it on a hoist and go into this car. No. We don't need to lube the driveline, but you can lay on the floor and do that with the grease gun. So it's at the point where all the work's been done. You've come to us. We've done the maintenance, the injectors, the BFE, the wheel bearings, the drive shafts. All these things are done on a 11-year-old car. Now it's kind of good to drive for another 11 years, other than oil changes. I want to do the coolant. So a bit of a service schedule for those people that hung around. Oil, 6 months, you know, a little bit longer is all right if you've done low K. 6 months or 10,000 K sort of thing, if it's got the EGR solution and the oil stays clean, okay? There's conditions to that, you know what I'm talking about, wink, wink. Coolant every couple of years, air filter as required, clean the MAF sensor with the air filter change. Fuel filter, I'd probably say to do that every 30, 40,000 or every 2 years, something like that. So that can be, whenever you come down for that proper inspection on the hoist, we do the fuel filter, we do the lubrication. For the amount of Ks you're doing, really, all you really need to be doing up here is oil change this time, not even a filter, waste of time, it's only done 5,000, it's just an oil change. And at 10,000, it's oil and filter. And then you bring it and we just have a look and see if there's anything else, but it's gonna be hard to find any work on this vehicle, to be honest. Let's have a quick look at that gearbox oil leak while we're here. We didn't call it a leak, it was just a bit of wetness we're going to keep an eye on. So if you've been watching the videos and you're still with us now, let's have a look.
It's never like finish on that.
There you go, beautiful. So we just had a look under. That's bone dry, nothing to see here, and Ken's confirmed no drips on the ground where he parks at home, anything like that. So nothing to worry about. So we're not going to go, oh yeah, mate, we need to pull your gearbox out and reseal this and that. It's going to be $2,000 or something. Waste of time, waste of money. Bada bing, bada boom. We're here to save you money and give you some information. I'm not going to just kick the bucket and take it all with me. I've got to get it all out. So subscribe, turn the bell on if you want it, and we'll catch you on the next video. See ya.
Thanks, yeah.